Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavai Tejasvinavaditamastu Mahavishavarai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Voice clear? So we start with the first verse from the second chapter. Aho niranjana shanto bodhoham prakrite para etavantam maham kalam mohanaiva vidambitaha. Janaka said, "Oh, I have become aware that I am blemishless, ever peaceful, and beyond Prakriti, nature. Until this time, I have been troubled by delusion because I did not realize this. So I realized, seer is first expressing about his present and the to be eternal state, and for a while, for a split of a second, he is demarcating between post realization and pre realization and just gives an expression. How many births maybe I would have wasted? But it is not a regret. When he says that he is looking at that person, Jiva, prior to realization, as if he is different from him. He is not associating himself with him. He is keeping himself far away from him. And as witness consciousness, he says, Mudamate, how much time you have wasted, how many births you have wasted without realizing this. Okay. This chapter is all about realization, self-realization, and self-knowledge. Bodha means to know, to realize, to awaken, or to come to realization or understanding. In the present context, it refers to self-realization or inner eternal awakening. Janaka responded to the instruction he received from Ashtamukra in the first chapter, stating that his delusion or misunderstanding had gone, as he realized that he was pure and perfect, peaceful beyond nature and free from delusion. Liberation is the state of perfection as well as purity. Perfection as well as purity. Perfection does not mean you are only good. It is completeness and the totality of all knowns and unknowns with limitless freedom. He uses the word Niranjana, which is very familiar to you by now. Blemishless, without blemish, without any impurity. So, what were all the impurities from which he has become free? They are the duality of the lower and known. It causes impurity. Egoism of mine and thine, the desire to have, to be, to become, attachment to worldly things, and the delusion that the body is real. The disturbances amongst the three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas, is mainly responsible for them. If they are balanced, they promote other, they culminate in divine qualities. And if they are disturbed, depending upon which one takes the dominance, it may even result in demonic qualities. A human being prior to realization is a mass of impurities and imperfections. He has many limitations which keep him bound to the mortal world. Liberation becomes necessary because the self is caught in those impurities and does not find an escape. Death does not remove the impurities since karma remains unresolved. Sanchita karmas are very much there in store. Therefore, liberation through purification is the only way to become free from them, not by death. How did he know he had become pure? He knew that self realization would not be possible until he was completely pure. Even if there is little impurity, one cannot attain liberation 100%, 100%, 100%. When you are utterly and totally and wholly pure, the bell rings from inside. It gives you the inner awakening that you have attained that or you have discovered that. Mala avarna vikshepa, mala, impurity. That results in avarna, and avarna promotes vikshepa. So you have to retrace, the activities have to be reduced. The veiling curtain of your real true identity has to be removed, and whatever remaining impurities, they also all have to go. And then you realize that you were and you are ever pure divine. It is only these three. Okay. In Sadhana Panchakam, the Shishya is saying, I think it was 2 posts before, everybody has left going through Sadhana Panchakam. Whereas it is so important at a practical level for spiritual seekers at a beginning level or even at a middle level. So he says, I am afflicted by 3 tapas. They are the Malavarna, Avarna, Vikshepa. Okay. If you have entered the highest state of samadhi and become absorbed in the self, that in itself is a proof that you have cleansed yourself. Even if you had some impurities, and somehow, see this beauty, even if there are some impurities, somehow you managed to get the self-realization because of the grace of your Guru or God, then it will work the other way. Even if an iota of impurity is there, and your Guru or your God bypass those impurities and grant you for some purpose they know. Then it works the other way. The attaining self realization will cleanse whatever impurities are remaining. They will take care of them. Because how you have got by the grace of your Guru. And if that grace is there, then the impurity must leave. So it works the other way. If at all, if at all. Self realization, self transformation, and self purification. They all come together in one basket. Self purification is essentially self transformation. Self transformation essentially culminates in self realization. When you remove the impurities of egoism, attachment, and delusion, and your gunas are balanced, you are ready for the stateless self absorption. Therefore, as he has realized that self, Janaka knew that he had reached the state of purity. He was able to be in samadhi. So he deciphered, he concluded convincingly that I have become pure. Otherwise, not more than 5 minutes of samadhi is possible. Guaranteed. 5 minutes, big thing. Shantam, peace, is the state of existence which actually has no expression but a very limited expression at the worldly level. From happiness promoted to Shanta, that has been given for that state. It manifests for the outsiders who look at the Jivan Mukta. This Shantam, he has transcended even that Shantam. What he has told you, Ananda is not to be contemplated. Sat and Chit. Wherever you reach, wherever the Sat and Chit culminates, the world says, for the benefit of the world, for the benefit of the sincere spiritual seeker starting the spiritual sadhana, to give them that motivation that they have known happiness at the worldly level. So perhaps this Ananda word has been coiled and given along with this Satchit. Otherwise, Jivan Mukta never says that I am in Ananda. Even if we had said sometimes to motivate the sadhakas and from the happiness so that they rise and rise and rise. When they exist as such, they would also realize that Ananda is not an expression. It is the state of existence. It has no expression at all. The next thing Janaka stated that he has transcended Prakriti, nature. In the Sankhya, we have understood about how Purusha extends itself as Prakriti and then how Prakriti goes on to create this macrocosm universe and then how microcosm, the jivas are born. Janaka says, in ecstasy, in that stateless state of self-absorption samadhi, he says, there is no relevance of Prakriti for me. Or in other words, it is to say what he is repeating in the second verse to come, that nothing is mine, the last expression of the second verse. There is no Prakriti, means there is no creation possible. And where there is no Prakriti, means if in game where all have to join hands together. We used to play in school chain. Okay, so one group will have to join together. Whether I don't know whether you all have played. One group will join together as chain, and they have to go and catch the other group. They will all be in single chain. We used to say. Okay, so in this group, when one person is cut off, the chain is broken. The chain loses its relevance. Similarly, when he has no Prakriti to relate to, then the chain is broken, the retracing process, Purusha has also been transcended. Okay, Prakriti has no relevance. Purusha, don't say it has no relevance, it has also been transcended beyond manifest and manifest. Okay, he says, I have no relevance, no understanding, no cognizance of Prakriti at all. The last thing that he mentioned in the verse is about delusion or moha. He said that he was freed from delusion, which until then troubled him. Moha means delusion, distortion, or deception. For example, there is a delusion of the mind and body, delusion regarding ownership and worship, delusion regarding relationships, delusion regarding desires, delusion of death and birth, delusion of pain and pleasure, delusion of impermanence, so on and so forth, so on and so forth. This delusion further get developed into distortion and deception. You can imagine. He's not elaborating on that. Only when you withdraw from the world and contemplate on your inner self, till that time you are in moha, you are in delusion. Ishwaram Sakshi Bhutam, the self stands as witness. It waits for you to invoke itself, which is you yourself. Only when you withdraw from the world and contemplate upon your inner self, you become aware of the witnessing self and realize that it is your essential nature and your natural state. You, this self, had never ever any delusion at all. You, the self, had never ever any association with the Prakriti at all. And rest are all Shantam and all, they are all finite expression. The self does not know even that. It is beyond. That is for the study Nididhyasana that the Ashtavakra Janaka has told us. Right? Delusion, Janaka relates to his existence prior to realization and prior to conviction, sitting in the Nididhyasana, prior to the Mananam stage, that how deluded he was. After Mananam, you are not supposed to be deluded at all. At all. Mananam is a big, very, very significant state in the path of Jnana. From Mananam, there is no point of return. If you again go back and forth from Mananam to delusion, then Nididhyasana, you useless. Be very careful about it. These points you will not get anywhere. So, he says how precious life prior to that got wasted due to the delusion. Meeni manave mirigamirangu aatti vaittadala. How much delusion. Okay. So delusion is the natural state of mind. Left to the mind, it will always get deluded. Moha. 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 The purpose of spiritual sadhana is to master that mind and to say, shut up, sit down quiet. That is the purpose of sadhana. Purity, tranquility, freedom from bondage to nature, and freedom from delusion, they constitute the state of the self. And how best that state where delusion has gone can be described. You would have now come to know what he is going to tell. कदा द्वैतं पश्यन् अखिलमपि सत्यं शिवमयम् महाव्यावाक्यातनाम वगति सम अभ्यासवशतः गतद्वैत आभास शिव शिव शिवेत्येव विलपन् मुनिर्न व्यामोहं भजति गुरुदीक्षाशततः न व्यामोहं, seeing everything as one, as ever existing and auspicious. Shivamayam. Akhilam api satyam Shivamayam. And owing to the realization and the practice and the purpose and import of the Mahavakyarthanama, Bhagati Sama Abhyasa Vashata, freed from mistaken notion, Gatatvaita Abhasa, and always uttering the word Shiva, Shiva Shiva Shivatyeva Vilapan, the sage whose ignorance, delusion has eternally been dispelled by Guru's grace is never ever deluded. Jivan Muktananda Lahari exclusively for the three sadhakas they did. That would be towards the very final stage. Afterwards, you will have to sit in samadhi. There is no other option for you at all. 16, 18 verses. Oh. The poet in the Adi Shankara, it is splashed, sprinkled in full vigor. What a poetic expression of the state of the Jivan Mukta. Jivan Mukta Ananda Lahari. Munir Vyamoham Bhajati Guru Diksha Shatatama. Next verse. And he will tell you, none of you have justified the contemplation. See, you will have to remember one thing. These are all post-realization verses of Ashtavakra. Wherever Ashtavakra is still whispering or roaring, it is post-realization. Post-realization cannot be limited by your pre-realization contemplation. At least during contemplation, you have to evolve yourself in the Nididhyasana, deep. Almost you have to reach up to his state. And very in-depth Nididhyasana, contemplation, not Nididhyasana, contemplation is required. Because these are all post-realization verses. You cannot bring in your time-space shortage, your other limitations, and just end up with 2 paragraphs. So, it is just like explaining about the sun sitting in Patala. Not done for future verses. Be very Go very deep. Otherwise, just confess we are not able to contemplate. We will wait for your this thing. Not satisfied with any of the contemplation at all. This is not to demotivate you. This is to motivate you for the future content. You have to get into the acharyas this thing, and then he has given you Sangha of Sadhakas, he has given you Sangha Nididhyasana, he has equipped you for whatever thing required for you to at least evolve yourself during the contemplation. The verse literal translation, if it has to be just explained with intellect, okay, 2 paragraphs is sufficient. Ashtavakra Gita is not about the two, 3 paragraphs at all, at all. Okay, lot of contemplation is required. You will realize when we go through this verse and then when you contemplate on this 4 which is to come. Just as I illumine this body, so do I illumine the whole universe. Yada prakashayam eko. Dehamena tata jagat. This is the first part. The self is the cause of the life as well as creation. Self illumines itself, the body of a seer, as well as the self illumines the creation for the seer and for the creation per se. This is the first part. Second part, Ato Mana Jagat Sarvam, with self appearing in and as this manifested creation, the self or the sage says the entire universe, Ato Mana Jagat Sarvam, the entire universe belongs to me. The climax is the last, self of all without all. Atva Nacha Kinchana. The third one is that the self is in an unmanifested state. There is nothing manifested apart from self or sage. So, there is nothing apart from me, Sadarshana. He says there is nothing here that belongs to me because there is nothing here at all. If there is creation, then Ato Mana Jagat Sarvam, I can say the entire universe belongs to me. There is no creation. Ajatavada comes here in its full glory. So there is no creation here at all. So what do I own except me? Aham, 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 the pure consciousness. There is nothing existing at all. So nothing ever belongs to me. Nothing is mine. Atva nacha kinchana. So it is saying either or. Either you say that Mama Jagat Sarvam, either I say the entire universe belongs to me, Atva, or I say Nacha Kinchana, nothing is mine. Because there has to be something for me to claim it is mine. Apart from me, there is nothing. Prior to cosmic vibration, nothing. In this context, in the Bhagavad Gita, the quality of a devotee is described as homeless. Homeless is not that it is described that he has no meal to eat or he doesn't have a share. Homeless means this home expands to the entire creation. He is creationless. But homeless has that significance. First part. Creation or existence is described in this verse as an illumination. From that, we can deduce that the self is compared to the effulgent sun. Illumination, sun. The sun illumines everything and pours life into all living beings. Life upon earth is not possible without sun illumining this creation. The harvests grow, we get annam, the food grows in the this thing farm only due to the sunshine and the rains. The symbolism of self as the illuminating sun is found in almost all scriptures in Hinduism. The way to the immortal world of Brahman is said to be the sun, which is either the location of the immortal world or the doorway to the immortal world. It is said that the souls who achieve liberation go by the path of light to the sun. It is possible that the sun, which the Upanishad extol as Brahman or as the eye of the universe, may not be the physical sun as we see. However, he serves well as a metaphor for the Supreme Self. Now he is taking the first half, not even the first half, a quarter from a Brihadaranyaka Upanishad session, which is long due for you. Minuscule portion. So you have to think what will be the major portion. Okay. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, each part is described as Brahmana or Brahmanam. So the Maitreyi Yajnavakya, that is Maitreyi Brahman. Okay. Now this is Jyoti Brahman. Okay. From the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. At one point of time, Janaka places Yajnavakya with all suitable conduct, with all suitable answers, with all suitable charity, with everything. Yajnavalkya was highly pleased with the knowledge of Janaka and said, "Ask for a boon." Janaka said, "I need only one boon. May I be permitted to ask questions whenever I please. Whatever I want to ask. That is all the boon I asked for." This is mumukshatva. He could have asked for anything. He asked, "I want clarity related to Brahmanyana, related to that Samadhi sthiti." That's it. So, Yajnavalkya says Tatastha. An important philosophy is going to be unfolded now in the series of questions. Mind you, this is a minuscule part of the whole chapter. First question: what is the light that illumines this person? Since we are talking in the Ashtavakra Gita about illumining, this is highly relevant at the end. What is the light which illumines the person? In this human, what is the light which illumines itself and illumines others? What is the power depending upon which the person works? How do men work in this world? With the help of what? What is the aid that you have in this world which enables you to perform your function? Yajnavalkya says, well, the simple answer to the question as to what is the light with the help of which people work in this world is that the sun is the source of all the light. He gave an immediate, open, simple answer. It is due to the light of the sun that the people perform actions in the world. If the light of the sun were not to be there, activity would be impossible. So your question is answered. Janaka, how would he live with this when the most profound revelation has to come? Janaka, but when the sun sets, when the light of the sun is not there, what is the light? What is the help with which people perform their functions? Yajnavalkya. The moonlight is the only support for them. When the sun is not there, the moon is there. With the help of moonlight, people may walk. Janaka. But if the moonlight is not there, if sunlight also is not there, what is the light with the help of which you will work? Yajnavalkya. Fire is the light then. You light a fire if there is no sun, no moon, and with the light and the warmth of the fire that you burn, you may be comforted and you may do your work. There were no electric bulbs in that Brihadaranyaka Upanishad time. Janaka, if the fire is also not there, what is the support then? Yajnavalkya. These are long verses. He has cut short them into capsule, smallest. When the sun sets, in the contemplation, you have to live through all these processes totally. Then the beauty will be there, experience. When the sun sets, when the moon is not and the fire does not burn, by sound, by speech, people communicate their ideas with one another. Merely by speech, they can work if everything else fails. But suppose there is nobody around you and nobody speaks, no sound is coming forth, then how will you act? There is nobody around you, no sound, no gesture of any kind externally. You cannot locate anything. Everything is dark. Sun has gone, moon has gone, fire has gone. You don't even know that there is somebody with whom you can speak. What will you do? Yajnavalkya. Atman aivayam jyotishaste palyayate karmakrite vipalyeti ite. You depend upon your own self when everything else goes. This is what Yajnavalkya says. Your self is your light. Your self is your knowledge. Your self is your strength. Your self is your sustenance. There is nothing except yourself when everything else fails. And if the self is there, then if everything else in the world fails also, you exist as that Satchidananda Swarupa. Because this does not depend upon any external thing to exist. Okay, so I am Sakshi. So the self is independent of any other thing in the world, independent of even your body, mind, intellect, senses. So if the self is there, everything is there. That is why the self is awareness, jnana. Without that jnana, there cannot be any other jnana in this universe. So this connects with the Janaka's first line. I illumine myself, this body, and I illumine the self that I am. The self illumines the entire creation for me. May the sun not be there, may the moon not be there, may the fire not be there, may the speech not be there, may people not be there, may sound not be there, may speech not be there. Self, complete. how this illumination has to be absorbed. In what sense? Because he has told that illumining, he took you away from illumination. He first from witness and then from illumination, and then he boarded you to the flight for existing as causeless. Because when you tell about illumination, he said the illuminator and the illumine duality may come. But how here at this Braharanyaka Upanishad level, at the Ashtavakra Gita's level, if you have to take the illumination, how you have to take it? So that there is no duality between, apparent duality between the illuminated and the illumined. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Brahman is the jnana, knowledge. This jnanam graces, Krishnanandaji's absolute graces itself. Jnanam graces itself to flow through every aspect of creation. And human beings with subtle body, intellect, are actually able to use, avail this jnanam grace to them, and when they further exist in the creation, all their further knowledge of A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z, and beyond, the 26 number alphabets, beyond everything, all the knowledge of knowledge of knowledge of all the objective knowledge, all that knowledge is possible because they have been endowed with that supreme knowledge, Brahman, or to say, because they are verily Atman, themselves, safe. A knowledge of Ishvara, knowledge of Jagat, knowledge of Jiva themselves. All knowledge is possible because they are themselves are knowledge. How they themselves are knowledge? If we have to resort to the Dridrisha Viveka, then the reflected consciousness. Knowledge of job, knowledge of science, knowledge of astronomy, knowledge of physics, knowledge of mathematics, knowledge of religion, knowledge of family, knowledge of friends, knowledge of enemies, knowledge of God, knowledge of everything, A to Z. Everything is possible because the self, call it Atman or Brahman, the self is existing as pure awareness. The self, pure awareness, I am. The essential nature, pure awareness. Because of that pure awareness is sprinkling, showering, gracing me, so that I get the knowledge of everything. In Jiva Jagat Ishvara, everything is included. There is nothing apart from Jiva Jagat Ishvara which you can ever perceive with any knowledge. So in this context, if you say, then there is no difference between the Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman, that Jnana, reflected consciousness, or if you, when you transcend the reflected consciousness, aham, pure awareness. This it is wrong to say at this advanced level that this is giving the knowledge of objects. No, this knowledge and the knowledge afterwards of this knowledge of objects and the objectless awareness knowledge, both are same. So when you come to this revelation, the duality, apparent misapprehended duality between the illuminator and the illumined, it is not there. Understood? Knowledge of Chodo, of A2 is that they are irrelevant, objects relevant. Knowledge of this. From this, they are illumined. That illumined aspect, you leave it. What is illumining? And what is the cause which has made it possible for me to illumine? There is no duality between the two. So you can say, I illumine. Here, there is no duality. Very subtle, very, very subtle. Theoretically, you can say, yes, understood, Guruji. No, you have to live a day with that illumined objectless awareness, with that objectless awareness, becoming aware of the objects of the creation from morning to night, and then come to substantiate this. Yes, I experienced this, not you see. Second part. Ishavasyanidam Sarvam. This second part makes an important declaration that self is the true owner of the universe. Ishavasyan is the same expression, idam sarvam. Brahman is the true Ishavasyan verse. Brahman is the Vasyam, inhabitant of all that exists here. Brahman is all pervading in the entire creation and in each aspect of this universe, as well as the moving universe itself. Ishavasya Upanishad verse. Yat kincha jagatyam jagat. Okay. It pervades the whole universe, all aspects in the universe, as well as the moving universe itself. The implication of it is that you should not claim, then tena taptena bhanjeta. So you should not claim ownership of anything because you neither create it nor own it. That is the second part of the Isha Upanishad. Because what is there the creation after? What is the creation after all? It is Brahman, all pervading, which pervades, which inhabits, Vasyam, which pervades, which envelops is the correct text, envelops the entire, each and every aspect, Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, as well as the moving universe itself. If all that is that, then tena taktena bhunji, what is there for you to claim, give up? You can claim something, you can go and liquidate your fixed deposit and encash it if you have deposited. You yourself is that only. What is there for you to claim in this universe? Your family, your wife, your husband, your relation, your property, your career, your job, your health, your future, your present. What is there to claim? When you are in this creation and when Isha Vasim envelops, then you don't have a separate identity other than Brahman. Then what are you crying for? What are you claiming in this universe? You say, she is my wife, made for each other. When people fall into, she is, she is also Brahman. You are also Brahman. Brahman, you cannot claim Brahman. Everything is like. So, since the cause for knowledge of everything, every aspect in the entire creation is the source knowledge which we saw just before, or jnana, from the illumination part, from the first line it came. When one exists as that source knowledge, one realizes that everything is me because the entire creation is what it is, that pure awareness which I am, due to which I am able to perceive every objects in this creation. So I am. So whatever I perceive with the pure awareness I am, all is me. You are not claiming here. You are, the duality is rent asunder. There is no duality. For claiming, you have to have a duality. For telling she is mine, you have to have a duality. When you have transcended all the duality and you are existing as that, naturally in Sahajasthiti there is nothing to claim. And everything is yours. Because everything is that one Brahman only. 1 year of contemplation is required for this one. The mother sees herself in her child. God sees himself in his bhakta. The God says, you are mine. The mother says, you are mine. The self source illumines the entire creation, sees the entire creation as not apart from his, no duality, and rose all. If you say there is any other thing apart from me, be sure everything is mine. If at all there is any difference. The expression or the poetic way of concluding is the same as the Satyajnana Anantam Brahman, where he say all your desires would be fulfilled at once if at all there are any desires. Same here. If at all there is anything other than you, then I am sure everything is mine. If at all. This logically leads to the next ultimate thing. So here, the first part of that expression from the Gita, self of all, becomes true. Now we are coming to the next expression. In the Hindu ethical practice, Asteya is considered to be the highest virtues. Asteya means non-possession of or not taking what does not belong to you. True renunciation or true asteya is not claiming ownership of anything because nothing belongs to you. This is completely, totally the ultimate dimension is coming now. Yeah. That is how Acharya has taken you step by step, step by step. First step, second step, first step withdraw. Third step, second step withdraw. 1,501 step, 1,500 steps withdraw. From illumination, you came to that source knowledge is that pure awareness is all Ishavasan, so everything is mine. From there, we are leaving the first two and we are coming to the last one. The world has two states, visible and the invisible, manifested and unmanifested. What creates the difference is the presence or absence of illumination. The same is true with the whole existence. It has two states, is or is not. The first one arises when God projects into it, and the second one arises when he withdraws from it. If the sun is the self, a lake or pond is comparable to the field of nature. The reflection of sun in the water is like creation. It exists during the day and disappears during the night. It reflects the reflection does not in any way diminish the self. The self, the sunshine reflects on the lake during the day. The sunshine does not reflect during the day. The God creates the world during the day. The God withdraws himself during the night. Okay. So when the reflection is there or reflection is not there, these two uh, opposite things has nothing to do with the existence of the sun per se. The projection or withdrawing from the creation, it doesn't question or it doesn't have any relevance to the existence of God. God is, sun is. Exactly. Now come to yourself. You get up and project the creation for yourself during the day. You withdraw into deep sleep. You withdraw from the creation. But you are. This projection and withdrawal has nothing to do with you, the pure consciousness self. Okay. So ultimately, upon transcending the awareness that I illumine this creation, first part, and then therefore the whole creation is mine. When all both the two are transcended, Janaka existing beyond the manifest creation as source roars. No, 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 no. Wait. I just told you the whole creation is mine. Mama Jagat Sarvam. Wait. Acharya, I have not concluded. Wait. I have risen, I have evolved further. Even when I am roaring to you and to the world of spiritual seekers that everything is mine, at the same time, without the time space gap, I have evolved further. Aho. From the third verse, the expression of aho is coming. After this revelation, after these three states, he says, let me conclude. Wait. In impatient ecstasy, he says, no, wait. I just told you everything is mine. No. Nothing belongs to me. I conclude with this. After that, I have nothing to add further. Nothing belongs to me because I exist as in and as that state where I have transcended the thought of projecting myself to the creation or withdrawing myself to the creation. I have transcended day and night. I have transcended the three states of consciousness: waking, projecting, deep sleep, withdrawing. I have transcended all these things. All the three states of consciousness are with respect to the creation. When the three states are transcended, it is but natural. It goes without saying the creation has been transcended. When the creation has been transcended, what is there for me? Nothing is mine, nothing is mine. He jumps and says, I withdraw the initial two lines. Now, like Acharya gives you a line in the morning and withdraws in the evening and puts you into another contemplation, Janaka immediately says, nothing is mine. How many times he has taught the three sadhakas? The whole creation is mine. I pervade the entire creation. Or there is no creation for me. And has proved this with so many analogies. He even gave you a message many years about he's not visiting southern, and he said, there is no southern different from me. The southern is in me. The entire creation is in me. Correct? Or there is no southern, there is no creation at all apart from me. Then how do I wear a white and white? And how do I take my cushion? How do I get into my being? How do I start? How do I go from where to where there is no time space gap? From where to where should I go and sit when there is nothing else? Both are true. And it cannot be more practically illustrated or explained to any spiritual seeker. Okay? When the sun dawns, the creation is illumined. When I get into creation, I experience the entire creation as me, the pure consciousness, and say, Aham Vasyam Idam Sarvam. Isha Vasyam is for spiritual, for the Nididhyasana level. Now, at the state of Janaka, I said, Aham Vasyam Idam Sarvam. When the sun fades away, the earth is not there. In that reference, when I close my eyes, when I exist in samadhi, I say, nothing belongs to me. There is no creation for me, Ajad. The creation was never born. Brahman existing as causeless can never contemplate or can never think of creating, being a cause for something. So the causeless cause expression is not true. So he could not have created this creation at all. There is no creation. என் கண் திறந்தால் இந்த வையகமே நான். என் கண் மூடினால் சமாதியில் கண்கள் எனக்காக மட்டும் மூடப்படவில்லை. இந்த வையகமே இல்லை, இந்த உலகமே இல்லை. உலகமே இல்லை என்றால் அங்கு இருப்பது என்ன? ச அஹம் அஸ்மி சோஹம். I, song of self. I. Here, the second part of the Ripogita line, I am the self of all, was the whole creation belongs to me. The last part, without all. The essence is conveyed, otherwise, he could go on sharing so many verses from Ripogita. He could have read out so many. First of all, he didn't get the time. And secondly, not necessary. ஒரு பானை சொருக்கு ஒரு சோறு பதம். Okay. If you have understood the 1 hour essence and you can get into a never before contemplation, this 1 hour pour is enough. Otherwise, 24 hours pour is also not enough. Vibhu Gita verse Sadarshana Yoga Vasishta aloneness of self which he gave in 2000 Kaivalya 2012-13. All of them come together and prostrate to Janaka in this verse. Not to Janaka, the form, to that existence. Having said that, you have to see what is there about this verse and what has been your contemplation state. It has to go to your contemplation from the third verse onwards. It has to go to a totally different, not different, ultimate dimension altogether. At least in the Nivitya's contemplation, you have to exist as Acharya, almost. And then contemplation. Unlike the Taittiriya words, vomit it out. Whatever contemplation. Not enough what you are contemplating. It's all that intellect level. Not enough. Learned knowledge level, not enough. This is that absolute state, absoluteness. Maharaj Krishnanand says. And if I open my eyes, if the creation is there, that absoluteness, without a thought or deliberation, that absoluteness is graced to the entire creation. And the entire creation laughs and smiles and dances with me as absolute self. No duality. There is nobody to illumine, there is nobody to get illumined. All are illumined at once. Hari Om. Yes, I know. So we are reverting back to the old Guru Shishya Parampara. Three sadhakas. Dunya goal. So we go around and reach to the same again. Of course, it will be uploaded. Whomsoever wants to take benefit. Sign off.